For today's a peek inside the cabinet, we're going to talk about gymnosperms. And these are plants that reproduce usually without flowers. They still have pollen and all that, but they don't form the flowers like angiosperms do. Now, lots of times when people think of gymnosperms, they think of things like these pine cones. This one's a good sized one. We're going to look at a few specimens of gymnosperms, cones, and seeds. Seed cones are going to come in a varieties of shapes and sizes and configurations depending on the adaptations of that particular plant. So the word gymnosperm means naked seeds. Well, some gymnosperms have what we think of as leaves, kind of like this ginkgo. Most gymnosperms have more needle-like leaves, like what we think of with pine trees. This is a Douglas fir cone, and one of the identifying features of this cone are these little papery bits hanging out, unless they're missing because some animal ate them. And a lot of people think they look like little mice backsides, the hind legs and the tail hanging out. Sometimes as we look at different cones, we may see evidence that animals have been trying to get at the seeds. Like we could see here that these scales have been pulled away, and this one, some animal, probably a squirrel, has completely stripped the cone of all the seeds and nibbled the scales down. For comparison, here are two Douglas fir cones. The one on the table is like the one we looked at earlier in the video, but this one I'm holding, all those little papery mouse bits are gone. This is because the seeds have been eaten by another animal. The seeds from gymnosperms and pines provide a lot of nutrition and seeds for a lot of different kinds of animals. And some of my cones are a little bit larger, so this sugar pine cone is longer than my hand. But my largest cone is this Coulter pine cone. This is quite heavy. And see, this also has these kind of sharp scales here that would not be very fun to get hit on the head if one of these was falling on you. If you look at the size of these scales on the bottom, you can see easily the larger ones are easily the size length of my finger. There's some different cones of the Redwood family. A sequoia cone and a coastal redwood cone. For some size comparison here, we have our coastal redwood cone compared to our Coulter pine cone here. So my smallest and largest in my specimen collection. I'd like to thank everyone for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.